Good day and welcome to another edition of Grudge Match, where in each episode we feature a head-to-head matchup between different universe characters to determine who rules and who comes up short. In this episode, we're going to have an archery showdown between two characters so similar it sometimes seems like they could be the same person. Representing DC, it's Green Arrow, and for Marvel, it's Hawkeye. Now, these two characters are so alike in so many different ways that at first glance it would seem almost impossible to determine who could be a winner out of this possible matchup. Things they have in common is both of them are expert marksmen of the highest degree, capable of hitting multiple targets while moving from one single shot, firing multiple arrows and hitting their targets perfectly every time. Both have been theorized to actually have metahuman abilities in terms of accuracy because their ability to hit things is so off the charts that it's believed a regular human couldn't do it. Both of them have a wide variety of trick arrows, not just the normal bladed arrow, but also all kinds of different trick arrows as well. Things like gas arrows, electric arrows, explosive arrows. Kind of makes them both a kind of walking Swiss Army knife when on the battlefield. Both of them have extensive fighting skills and acrobatic skills whenever their long-range weapons fails them, and they even both have similar types of girlfriends with a bird theme to their superhero identity. Green Arrow has Black Canary, and Hawkeye has Mockingbird. So, in a lot of ways, almost the same guy. But there are a few critical differences which are going to ultimately determine who would walk away victorious if a winner indeed had to be determined between these two. On the side of Green Arrow, he actually came about first by quite a wide margin. He was created back in 1941 versus Hawkeye didn't come around till much later in 1964. Now this gave Green Arrow 25 years of more experience with battling enemies, and as well he had his own self-titled series, so he was going after all of his enemies on his own, whereas Hawkeye did not have his own solo series. He was always part of the Avengers, so he always had a team to back him up. So that could play in Green Arrow's favor, as he would be much more comfortable in a one-on-one confrontation, not having a team there to back him up, and 25 years of experience over Hawkeye. Also, Green Arrow is independently wealthy. His background's a lot like Batman's in that he was rich from the time he was very young, and he dedicated his money, his fortune, and his life to creating all of his gadgets and accessories in order to be able to go out and fight crime. He even had his own aeroplane that he would cruise around the country in and go from different fight to different fight. Hawkeye didn't have this kind of independent wealth from a young age. He came from very humble beginnings as a circus performer, and he was actually a villain to start with, so he was kind of robbing to get by before joining the Avengers. Since then, he's got the backing of the Avengers and the United States government, but he's not going to have that immediate access to whatever money and wealth and resources he needs in any given situation. So that again could play into Green Arrow's favor. On Hawkeye's side, playing into his favor, is that when you really boil these two characters down, he is the better fighter. He is the better hand-to-hand, one-on-one fighter, and more proficiency in different types of weapons. He took on various different personas other than Hawkeye in his time, one of which was a character called Ronin. It was a ninja-type character who used katana swords, nunchucks, throwing stars, and he used all of these with incredible proficiency, and for a long time, a lot of characters, including Marvel's Iron Fist, one of the greatest hand-to-hand fighters in Marvel Comics, thought he was one of the best hand-to-hand fighters around. That's a level of hand-to-hand combat that Green Arrow just doesn't quite possess. Also, not just hand-to-hand fighting, but in throwing weapons as well, Hawkeye comes out on top. When Captain America was thought to be dead, Hawkeye was actually the first person Iron Man and S.H.I.E.L.D. and the government came to and asked him to be the new Captain America because he was able to wield Captain America's shield and throw it, bounce it around like Captain America used to do, and catch it. He's incredibly proficient with thrown weapons. He's incredibly proficient with almost any type of hand weapons. Again, back to Ronin, swords, nunchucks, all those kind of things. And whereas Green Arrow has very good proficiency with a sword, he doesn't have the level of proficiency that Hawkeye does with all types of other weapons. So in that respect, Hawkeye's going to come out ahead. So the main differences between these two characters are really Green Arrow has more experience and more resources. Hawkeye has greater skill in an all-round fight. So the question becomes, what's going to prove to be the more potent weapon on their side if these two were ever to come to a head-to-head fight? When it comes right down to it, this fight could easily go either way. Both these characters so similar, so much alike, and if one were to come out victorious, it would really be, 51% to 49%. It really would be closest fight that you could ever imagine, but a winner has to be decided. And that winner is Hawkeye. In the end, those extra fighting skills and better proficiency with additional weapons are just going to prove to be too much in a head-to-head matchup. Whereas Green Arrow does have the better resources, Hawkeye does have the backing of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Avengers, so he's going to have some good toys too. Green Arrow's experience is great and much more than Hawkeye's, but Hawkeye just is going to come away victorious because of his better skills and all-around better fighting proficiency. Please leave any comments you'd like to make or suggestions for future Grudge matches in the comments section, and we'll see you next time on Grudge Match.